Daily platform. This is second lecture in the series of industrial engineering and management, and here in this lecture we are going to cover some topic of second chapter, because first chapter has been already completed in the first lecture, and second chapter is plant layout and material handling. Three topics: definition of plant layout, objective of good plant layout, principle of plant layout, types of plant layout will be taught here. And here in these three topics we are getting one term common, which is plant. So first of all we have to understand what is plant, and now we will go ahead. So if you want to understand what is plant, the definition is here. A plant is a place where main materials, money, machineries and other resources needed are brought together for manufacturing products. In other words, plant works as a processing body to convert the raw material or component into a desired product. So we can describe a plant as a processing unit, or a unit where all the things, all the resources are brought together and it is processed to convert it into a final product. From raw material to the final product, this conversion is done inside the plant. Now, as we have already understood what is plant, so we have to understand about plant location. If I ask what is plant location, then you can say that the location where it is located, but it is not as simple as we are just reading it. Plant location decides many things about plant, many things about its product. So it is a process, and by following that process we just decide that where we have to locate our plant, where we have to set up our plant. Plant location refers to deciding a suitable location, area, place, etc. where the plant or factory will start functioning. So it is basically a place where we are going to set up a new plant, and from there we will start producing our product, our good, whatever it is. So plant location involves two major activities. There are two major activities which is to be done for the setting of a new plant. First is to select a proper geographical region, and second, selecting a specific site within the region. So through first point we are getting that first of all what we have to do, we have to select a proper geographical region where we are going to set up our new plant. So what is the meaning of this geographical region, and what we understand by this geographical region? Geographical region decides many things like transportation system, availability of water and different resources, what is needed for this processing. So if we will have a good geographical region as per our need, as per the total need of the production, so we will have a good efficiency of the plant. After deciding the geographical region, what we have to do, we have to just select a specific site within that region. This plant location affects the plant in many ways, basically by in terms of cost. If the plant location will be good, then the cost will be less. Cost of what? Cost of obviously processing the raw material, cost of getting the suitable raw material, and cost of finished product distribution to the customer. These three costs will get reduced if we will have a good plant location. Now if we want to understand what is the factors which affect plant location, then there are factors already written here. These factors affects the plant location. We will discuss one by one. First is nearness of the raw material. If the material will be near, in that case the cost of the final product will be less. Obviously the transportation facility, if we will have a good transportation facility, then we can get raw materials very easy, and we can transport the final product also in a very easy and cheap way. Now nearness to the market. If plant will be nearer to the market, then it will provide basic facilities to their employee, to the workers working inside the plant, and also it will provide a hub of product, and we can make a hub for the product of our plant, and from there the product will be distributed to the whole market. Now availability of fuel and power. As we already know that any of the plant either runs on natural energy, natural form of energy, or it works on electrical energy. If we say natural fuel, then it works on either petroleum, either it works on coal. So these things comes either in the pipe transportation system, either by pipe transportation system, either by road transportation system. So there must be availability of these things, because in the absence of these things it will not be easy to run our particular plant, and the location will not be suitable. Because if we will go to set up a new system for getting this fuel, then this will be very tough for us and the cost will go high. Now, availability of water. Somehow percentage of water always needed to convert any of the raw material into final product. The percentage may vary according to the product, according to the plant what we are going to set up, but it is always needed. So there must be an availability of water. Climate conditions should be good, it should be workable. So without this good climate condition, the employees working there will not be able to work in their efficient way. And the next is financial and other aids. Next is land community attitude. Next is present of related industries. Next is as existence of hospital, market, school, banks, etc. Next is local bylaws, taxes, building ordinances, etc. Next is security. Next is facilities for the expansion. So these are the things. These things decides either plant can be located or not. We can set up a new plant at a particular place or not. These things decides whether that the cost of the production will be high, will be at cheap, or will be high. This will be decided by the factors what is written here. Now if we want to compare the rural and urban sites, then there are different advantages of rural site and different advantages of urban site, and in the same way there are different disadvantages of rural site and disadvantages of urban sites. So it is nothing that tough. If we will study it in a proper way, then we will understand everything. What are the advantages? First advantage is plenty of land available for construction and expansion for the plant. So land is actually very cheap in rural areas in comparison of urban area. So a land is always available to expand the particular industry or the particular plant, and it is also cheap. Unskilled laborer are available which can be trained to suit the requirement of the concern. As we already know that if we have skilled labor and unskilled labor, in that case the salary what we have to give will be less for unskilled laborer, and if we will hire unskilled laborer and we will train them as per the requirement, then it will be cheaper for the company. So in that case these are the benefits of a rural plant site. What about disadvantage? First is skilled laborer is not available. Obviously skilled laborer is not available, and we have to work very hard to get skilled laborer, or either giving training to the unskilled laborer as per our work need. Now rail, road and air link may not be available there at all, or may not be adequate. So transportation system is very important for any of the industry or any of the plant. So if there is a good transportation system, the area where we are going to set up is good. If the transportation system is not good there, then we can say that that particular area will somehow affect the total benefit, or the total whatever will be our revenue, that revenue will get affected. So power is not suitable. Obviously for the power system, for the proper power system, we will have to set up our own system or set up our own connectivity. Now urban plant site, what are its advantages and its disadvantages? First advantage is well connectivity by road, railway and air. Obviously an urban site will have a connectivity, good connectivity, and right labor force available. The labor force, the working employee, skilled employee will be available for our company. And anytime if we want to expand our plant, in that case the number of the manpower needed will be available at right time. Service of expert and specialist are easily available. Obviously the service or the specialist for the repairing and maintenance of machineries and equipments running in a particular company will be very easy, and specialist of that particular machinery or any of the specialist what we need for our production company will be easy in urban areas. It provides a good market also. So market is very near, and good market for the employees, for the manpower working inside the company is also available. And we can create a new hub, a very big hub for the company also near to the plant, so that there will be a good connectivity, there will be everything good, so the transportation and everything will be easy if we will have a plant in urban area. Now what about disadvantage? Labor salary are high. Obviously we will have to pay more if we have a plant in city, so that's why people go from villages to city for the work purpose, because they get generally high salary. And now union problems are more. Obviously you will see that in a plant where working employees are more than 100, more than 1000, and there are a number of companies like that, and in each of the companies there are 100,000 employees, then they generally make an union, and that union works for the benefit of employees working or the laborer working in the company. So it somehow affects to the company, and it pressurize in some way to accept their demands time to time. So somehow the union problems are more in cities. Now cost of the land and building construction is high. Cost of the land is generally very high. We can say it is more than twice, thrice when we compare it from rural areas. And the cost of construction is also high, because when the cost of labor will be high, in that case the total cost of construction will go high. This is about rural and urban area, and how we can compare a site in rural area and a site in urban area. Now we are going with plant layout. Plant layout, if we want to understand, if we are getting things in a proper way, then we can see that first of all we have studied about plant, then we have studied about plant location, and now we are going to study about plant layout. So leaf plant, if we just want to understand this term layout, then what layout means? Layout means we generally understand that placing the things in a proper manner is known as layout, that we are placing things as they should be. So plant layout means deposition of various facilities, equipment, materials, manpower, etc. and services of the plant within the area of site selected previously. Plant layout begins with the design of factory building and goes up to the location of movement of work table. All facilities like equipment, raw material, machineries, tool, workers, etc. are given at a proper place. So in plant layout, what we do, we have to do the deposition of various facilities in a proper manner. So we start generally by placing the factory building first. We just place the factory building first, and according to that different things are given to their place according to the factory building, and this whole setup is known as plant layout. When we are going to set up each of the thing related to the plant, then this whole system of placing the things in a proper way is known as plant layout. Now if we want to understand what is the objective basically of good plant layout, so plant layout also has a good objective objective of good plant layout means, if we will have a good plant layout, if we will have a good layout, then there are many things which will be easy. So the first thing is material handling and transportation is minimized. So if we will have a good layout, means things will be arranged in such a way that we will have to transport the materials or the things minimum from one place to another place to make it final product. So if we plan it, if we lay out it in a very good manner, then the total transportation inside the plant will be less, and somehow it will reduce the energy utilization, and somehow it will reduce the cost of the product. So it is very important to set up everything in a proper way. So material handling and cost of transportation will be minimized. So this is the objective, but for which what we do, we just have a good plant layout. Now bottlenecks and point of congestion are eliminated by line balancing method, so that raw material and semi-furnished goods moves fast from one workstation to another workstation. So this is about line balancing method. We will study it later, this line balancing method. And this line balancing method do what? It eliminates or reduce the number of nodes between different steps involved in the processing of raw material. As we already know that if you want to make a suppose we have an example of this cell phone now. So this cell phone cannot be made in a single step, that the raw material comes and it gives us the final product. No, it is not like that. This product is made in many steps. There are multiple steps which is involved for making a final product. So in each of the step you can see that when one product one step has been finished, then it is known as semi-furnished product. And if the consumption of time or the waiting time of a particular semi-furnished product will be more, in that case the total time consumption will be more. So what we have to do, we just have to eliminate or reduce the number of bottlenecks and congestions available inside the system for the smoothness of working system. Now workstation are designed suitably and properly. The workstation, actually there are multiple workstations inside a single plant. A workstation means what? Where a place where a particular work is done related to the processing. So there are multiple work for the processing of raw material, and so we have a different number of workstation inside a plant, and it should be designed in a suitable and proper way. Now suitable centers are allocated at the production center and services center. So we will have different centers for different things, like production. For production we will have a separate center, for service we will have a separate center. Then the work will be very easy. Like if we are producing the product, or if we are making if we are converting the raw material into final product in a particular building, and we are repairing the damaged product in the same building, then obviously the time and the consumption and the process will be hazy. We will not get that efficiency what we really want. So movement made by worker are minimized. So this is also a very good objective, a very important objective of good plant layout. We just want to do what? We want to minimize the movement of worker, because when we will have a lot of movement of worker from one place to another place, from one workstation to another workstation, in that case the total efficiency of that worker will get reduced, or the time will get wasted in terms of movement, or worker will waste their time for moving from one place to another place. So our objective is to minimize the total movement of worker. So it comes under good plant layout. Now waiting time for semi-finished product is minimized. We have already discussed this point in the second one, that waiting time of semi-finished or semi-finished product should be minimum, so that the total production time will go less, and product will be good and it will be on time. Now, working conditions are safer, better, and improved. Obviously, an employee will think about its safety then when he will work. So, we will provide a good, safe environment for the employee so that the total work efficiency will be more, and it comes under good plant layout. If we will have a good plant layout, then we will be able to provide them a good, safe, better, and improved working condition. Now, plant maintenance is simpler. As we already know that if you have ever visited a plant, then you can see that there is always an alternate available for each of the workstation. Like if a particular workstation has stopped working, in that case we do not waste our time to wait for the repairing and maintenance of that workstation. We start our work from the alternate way available for the processing of raw material. So its maintenance should be always simple so that we can maintain it and we can repair it on time, and in that case the total energy and the total time utilization will be less. So a good plant in a good plant layout, we should have a plant maintenance very simple, and the utilization of cubic space, this is very important. That if you want to understand that what is the utilization basically, so let me tell you one example for it. Suppose I am saying you to make a cube of 1 meter into 1 meter into 1 meter, right? And in the second case I am saying you to make a cube of 1 meter into 1 meter into 2 meter, right? So in that case you can understand the cost of making 1 meter into 1 meter into 2 meter